Hi. Today is a day on which we will be composing music. So I've already made a lot of progress on this piano composition, but I haven't worked on it in like 2 weeks. So I really want to finish it, but it takes me so long to write just one measure of this because I'm not the best at translating my musical ideas to music score. Like basically it took several hours for me to just write this one page, which only takes up about 30 seconds. But anyways, I want to make a lot of progress on it today. So I guess we could go over what I have so far. So like nice job. This first line, the first four notes are like a motif that I came up with a long time ago, which would be these notes. And then I kind of expanded on that for the rest of the measure and tried to add like a few chromatic notes to it. And then I repeated the exact same thing except with this part in the left hand. And then for this measure, the right hand, honestly, it was just like, that's what I felt like doing, at least for these first four parts. And then for these last parts right here, I again intentionally created this chromatic part of the phrasing. And then the left hand, I had not really much of a clue what I was doing, but it was basically just descending thirds, but they were really chromatic, or they were like kind of dissonant with the right hand. So I was trying to, for this part right here, I was trying to kind of bring it back to being harmonious, but I was not doing so well. And then these last three chords, it just finished out the measure. Again, still not quite harmonious because I'm like alternating between like a major and a minor chord. But then on this next line, I completely resolved the phrase to being basically a chord that's in complete harmony, and I just did a bunch of chords. And then it transitions into this part, which is, it's kind of like the main melody, but I don't know if it's going to be the main melody. It might just be kind of a transition point, but it's completely a harmonious section with this motif that I just kind of came up with on the fly, which is, dang it. So yeah, I just kind of came up with that randomly, but it sounds pretty good, I think. And the left hand, I intentionally tried to repeat the original motif, but I couldn't exactly use the exact same notes. So basically I repeated the same four notes, except that the first two notes had to be below the second two notes, and the first two notes had to be going up, and the second two notes had to be going down. That's the only resemblance it has to the original motif. And I just basically chose notes that harmonized perfectly with the right hand, and that's how I got that line. So I'm kind of intentionally not playing the music, playing like what I have so far, because I guess because I would just want to build up suspense until I finally play the entire song at the end. But anyways, yeah, that's what I did for this line. And for the next line, I repeated the exact same thing, except that after this new motif I came up with, which is, dang it. I repeated that again, and then instead of having just a chord, I actually repeated the very first motif that I came up with, which is and then it continues, and it repeats the exact same thing that I did up here in this first measure, except that it's different notes. Basically, it's not the same notes, not the same intervals. It's just basically the same kind of idea, like the same amount of notes, the same rhythm, kind of the same general movement, but not the exact same intervals. So yeah, I repeated that, and the left hand continued with the four note motif in the bottom, except with different notes and different intervals. Okay, that was a long explanation, but yeah, I wrote all that a couple of weeks ago, and it took several hours. I wrote it over a course of a few days, and it was taking such a long time because I am not very good at translating my musical ideas onto music score. As I said earlier, I love repeating myself, but basically I'm not very good at, I had a lot of problems with writing that. I had to do a lot of trial and error to get what I wanted in my head onto the program. I'm a little worried that this piece is going to take forever. It's going to take me like a month or 2 months to write this thing at this rate. But today I'm going to try to get like a ton of it done and try to kind of speed up my process so that I can get it done faster. Also, I want this piece to be longer. I would like it to be, I don't know how long I want it to be. I just want it to be longer than my first few songs that I made. So basically my first composition was actually around 5 minutes long. That was a long time ago. I made that. But then my second and third compositions were really short. They were only about 1 minute. I would like this one to be longer. Maybe 3 minutes at the very least, maybe even more. So anyways, it's 9:33. I'll get back to you in a few hours and let you know how far I've gotten. And hopefully I can get a lot of stuff done. Nice job. My hair is dumb. It is now 11:22. I just finished these two measures. I don't really like how they turned out, but what I did was I took a theme from my fourth composition, which is, and I actually used it in these two measures. So basically I turned it into, that's the entirety of the two measures. And I'm realizing that, I mean, I've kind of had this feeling the entire time, but the idea to put this song in 11/4 was horrible. Or at least I'm not dealing with it very well, because I keep what I've done, what I did for those last two measures, basically it sounds really awkward because I basically had 2 bars of 4/4 and then 1 bar of 3/4 and then repeat, and that sounds so awkward. That's how I was able to make 11/4 in both of those measures, and it just sounds awkward, but I'm not going to change it. I might continue this song in 4/4 instead of 11/4. We'll see. I just now decided to switch the song to 4/4 time, but if I repeat the opening motif, I may switch it back to 11/4 for those specific sections. Okay, good job. Okay, it's 11:47 and I keep walking back and forth while listening to what I have so far, and I keep wasting time by doing that because I can't get myself to sit down and continue. But anyways, I'm going to force myself to continue because I really want to finish this piece, and I've timed it. It's only 42 seconds long so far, so I have a long ways to go. Fortunately, I can reuse a lot of the old themes over and over again, but I guess like writing the first 1 or 2 minutes of the piece maybe is like the hardest part, and then writing the last couple of minutes you can just reuse stuff you used before and it won't be as hard. I don't know. But anyways, this is the last time that I listen to it, and then I sit down and work on it for like an hour. So yeah, that was fun. Okay, now we're finally going to work on great free. Okay, I mean, you're. It's now 12:32. So basically, I re-added the first motif, except I cut off the last part, the last 3 beats, so I could make it 4/4, and redid the second measure. And after that, I changed up the left hand and did the same right hand, and then I did a repeat of the beginning of the third measure. That's all I did. Good job. Now I'm going to eat lunch because I'm done. Okay, bye. Hi, I'm back to create more music. How long has it been since I worked on this? Let's see. It's actually been since Wednesday, and today is Saturday. But anyways, so I'm going to work on this for 8 hours because normal people have to work 8 hours a day, so why shouldn't I? So therefore, I'm going to work on it for 8 hours, and I'll allow myself 1 hour break in the middle. So anyways, bye. I worked on the composition for 2 hours and 55 minutes. And then instead of taking a 1 hour break, I took a 1.5 hour break because I'm stupid. So now it's 2:16. So, and I don't even have time to finish the 8 hours that I was originally going to do. So whoops. Okay, it is now 5:26. And, well, the timer is at 6 hours. Yeah, I had a lot of troubles getting through the rest of this piece, but I did finish it. And the only reason I finished it is because I gave up basically on a longer piece. I really wanted it to be longer. I wanted it to be 3 minutes, but man, it's just why it takes me such a long time to just write one measure because I have so many problems. Sometimes I have a vague idea of what I want in my head, and then I can't translate it to reality. It's in my mind, but it's not on the program. It's not on. I can't like play it on the piano to try to see what it is. Like, but plus I'm not. I mean, yes, I took piano lessons as a child and stuff, and I know theory and whatnot, but music theory, but I am very inexperienced in music theory. Like, I didn't take any college classes on it at all. The only education I have on music is just like my piano lessons as a child. That's it. And that's not that much because I only did like 1 lesson a week. And I took music class every year in school up through 11th grade. Wow. So my ability to, okay, I keep repeating the same points, but I finished it because I got to a part in the piece where it felt like it was ending. So I just ended it, and I was like, man, I just don't feel like writing anymore. But I'm really glad about this one part of the piece that I wrote where I basically combined 2 of the motifs together, and it was so cool. But let's see what we did today. So today we started down here. We started right here at this note. And all I did for this measure, I was so lazy because I just took these 4 notes right here and then repeated them over and over again, except 1 step down every time. So lazy. And then these chords in the bottom, I think they're also going down by 1 step every time. I can't really remember. It was like several hours ago when I wrote it. It was basically just descending minor chords. And then, oh, look at this measure. There's barely anything in this measure. All I did was repeat these 4 notes over and over again, and I repeated the same chord over and over again. Nice job. Then here, I went back to the theme right here, which is... I actually, and that full expanded version of the theme was not actually used earlier in the piece. Only the first part of it was. The full extended version of that theme was used in composition 4, but then I repeated it right here. And then the left hand, of course, all it is chords. All it is arpeggiated chords. And also I added some pedal and I made the right hand louder. I finally figured out when I wrote my first 3 compositions, I actually didn't know how to make the right hand louder than the left hand, but when I was writing composition 5, I finally figured it out. So basically I made the right hand triple forte for this part and the left hand forte, so that basically I could have that. Nice. Okay, so then let's look at how lazy I was for this part, but this is the part I'm most proud of though, because of the fact that I combined both motifs together, kind of like counterpoint. I don't know if it's counterpoint. It's probably not counterpoint. Whatever it's called where you put 2 lines together. Okay, whatever. But here's the lazy part about this. The right hand is this exact same thing as before, except half a step up. Like, you can see how lazy I am with this composition. But anyways, the left hand, combining the right and left hand was, oh my god, that took so long. I had no idea what to do. I actually originally tried to have 3 voices for this part. I tried to repeat this theme right here. So basically, like, all 3 themes. Why is there a light on here? Flash off. Oh. So basically, the main 3 themes that are used in this piece are this, and then this, and then the third theme is... Okay, finally, that took 5 years. Anyways, those are the 3 themes. I was going to try to combine all 3 of them, but I had so much trouble with it, and then I finally figured out how to combine 2 of them, and I was just happy with it because, man, that is such a hard thing to do, to combine all 3 of them and make them sound good together. But anyways, the trick was I took this theme right here, and then instead of doing it both at the same time, I waited 1.5 beats, and then I started this theme, which is... And then I combined both of them into this, and it sounds so cool. Also, I added more notes in the left hand. Plus, at the end, I did throw in this theme right here by putting these 4 notes here. Whoop, I just dropped. Anyways, and then right here, it's just a chord. Right here, it's just a chord, and then the first theme repeated over and over again. And then in the left hand, I have the first theme also, except that I have the extended version of it that was used at the beginning of the piece. And then, you know what's hilarious about this part right here? These notes were not... These notes happen to be a complete accident as to why they're there, but it happens to work out so perfectly for this because these notes were just sitting at the end of the document. They were just sitting at the end of the piece left over from some other thing I was doing. And I was like, and then when I was listening to re-listening to it over and over again, it kept playing that every time I would listen to it, it would end and then a couple of beats would pass and then it would play these notes. And I was like, maybe I could just add that. So dumb, but it actually works. And then, which is, by the way, it's just this theme again. And then guess what happened? I got to this chord right here. And then at that moment, I decided, oh, that sounds like a good place to end it. So we'll just end it there because I'm lazy. And then the right hand just repeats the first theme again. And it even has the extended part with the trill, except I don't write it as a trill. I write it as, what is it stinking called? 16th notes? No, not 32nd notes. Like, I don't write a trill. I write 32nd notes. So too bad.